Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to. Oh, I'm not even going to edit that out. Editor, you can leave that in. You can even leave me talking to you in so people hear that I'm a normal person and hear that I converse with you via video. So feel free to leave all this in, normal stuff. Look, guys, I wanted to talk to you real quick about something that's been going on for me and something that I know some of you are struggling with, and that's financing right now. It's not easy. For example, I'm under contract on a property that I've got under contract for 20% of market value. So it should be a solid deal. I'm putting in 25% down, which I essentially never do. And so I'm going to own this thing for like what, 55% LTV, right? Yeah, 55% loan to value. And I'm still having a real rough time procuring this loan. Now, to put in perspective, and I'm not saying any of this to brag on myself or boasting, but to put in perspective, like, I'm not a bad person to lend on. Now, my debt to income ratio might be a little higher because I have a lot of properties, but they pay for themselves, and so it's really not anything crazy. I've never had a problem with a loan before. I have low to mid 700s credit score. My wife is high 700s, low 800s, and she's on this. I put her on this loan because it's a difficult, time. So credit score is good, debt to income is good. I have, well, after everything that went crazy, maybe 40 grand in the thrift savings plan. It should be like 50 or 60, but normal. That's my normal, like my emergency cash reserves that I don't ever touch, that I'm really just pumping more and more cash into right now until I'm able to get out of the military. And then I just sold a house, so I've got $40,000 almost in a savings account with another like 10 inbound from taxes and stimulus and all this other crap. So the fact that I'm putting like $23,000 down on a house and I've got almost double that in a savings account, another 1.5 times that in a TSP, my debt to income covers everything, my credit score covers everything, my lending criteria, I've never missed a payment, my lenders know me like first name basis, text message, all of this stuff. But because of everything going on, lenders have really gotten strict with criteria. And it's not even my lender, it's other people. And this is a fairly local bank, but there's just only so much they can do because of what's going on right now. And so, prime example, here's like a few of the things that I've had to pull. I had to do a verification of employment record, which those of you enlisted who've used the VA loan, you understand we have to do like the certificate of enlistment for VA loans. Or certificate of eligibility to prove you're in the military or prove your military service. But I've never actually had to do a verification of employment for any of these loans. They usually just take like a photocopy of my ID card with the end date and my pay stubs, and then that's enough for them. But in this case, they've asked for it. They're going to ask for it again, they told me, right before we close, to ensure I'm still employed by the military, because they're really worried about people getting laid off. Now, even though the military is secure, I've even heard with non-military people that like my bank is doing 3 verification checks, and like literally the day before the loan closes, calling and asking the manager or whoever if I'm still employed, if there's a plan to lay me off, whatever. So very strict on ensuring that you're going to have a job. The other is a 3-page document about about my business plan with COVID and how I predict it will affect me. Essentially predicting the future. They sent me like 7 or 8, maybe 10 different questions about this is all just my self-employment income. So like through YouTube, through my course, the Real Estate Investor for Beginners, through some of this, by the way, link in the description. I never talk about that course. It's down there. I just don't feel a need to advertise it like some of these gurus do. It's there. It's super affordable. It's got a ton of information, more than a lot of other people's courses do that are 3, 4, 10 times as much as mine. If you want to check it out, awesome. If you got questions about it, awesome. If not, disregard all this and continue with the normal content that's free. But look, some of that different income, they want to know how this is all going to change. They want to know how my business has been affected, what my plan is going forward, my prediction for how it's going to be affected, why my income is somewhat recession proof, like, I don't know, YouTube advertisements or some people that are, I don't know, whatever. So I'm not going to go into all my business plan with you guys, but it's like ended up being like a 3-page Word document. And I literally took a pen, signed and dated on this Word document and scanned it in. Like, not super official, predicting the future document, but that's what they wanted. I had to sign a statement of understanding about forbearance, that I understand what forbearance is, that I don't plan on using forbearance, that I have not used forbearance already on a loan. Never had to sign that before. And for those of you who don't know, I'm in a lawsuit right now. I'm suing somebody because I got into a really big deal, and the lawsuit's about fraudulent, representation and stuff, but we're not going to get into all that. But it's also about contract breach. So there were breaches to the contract that we had that, it is what it is. But I'm not personally really at risk for anything. They tried to pierce the veil and go after me. I don't have any assets really in my name. It's all in other LLCs, not this LLC that the lawsuit's about. So I have no real exposure at all. But nonetheless, my attorney or my lender wanted a letter from my attorney stating what my exposure was, this, that, and the other. My attorney drafted up this freaking bomb-ass letter. I saved it because it's awesome and basically makes me look like a water walker and, whatever, right? And that's how attorneys use big language that makes other people scared and me happy, and that's what they do, right? But the letter was very compelling, very convincing, and just reassured me, but also my lender, that there was nothing to worry about, right? My exposure is minimal on this. Even if he goes after me and I lose everything, whatever, it wouldn't come into my personal finances or this other LLC. I'm not exposed there. That being said, I am now being asked to produce all of the court documents for this. We haven't even gone to court yet. So like all the filings and all the discovery and all the other stuff that goes with legal crap. I don't even know where to get all that. So I'm back at my attorney again. But I just can't win. It's like one thing after the next thing after the next thing. Here's how I envision what's going on right now. I'm going to get a good term once this is all locked in, right? I'm going to get a good rate. I'm going to get a good distance or term length. I'm going to get good terms in general. But in order to get that great lending that's on the other side of that fence, like the normal barrier to entry, they took the barrier to entry and raised it 3 times. So we went from white picket fence to do not illegally immigrate into the U.S. fence for mortgages, right? And it's if I can just get under that fence or over that fence or through that fence, then the life will be amazing and my lending will be great. But Lord help me get through that freaking fence. The barrier to entry for this loan has been huge. And so I just wanted to talk to you guys about this real briefly and just let you know that this is potentially the future, depending on how long this lasts. I mean, we know that rates could skyrocket back to 5, 10, 15, 18% for interest rates. Now, I'm not trying to fearmonger, but back in the 80s, mortgage rates were very high. So there's a potential as the deleveraging happens and interest rates go up that it could get worse. So we're at the best time for interest rates, but the worst time for actually getting them to lend you money. But this could be realistic for a while. I mean, if people are really going into forbearance and struggling, then we could see this for a while where lending is difficult. What's that mean to you? It means you need to be willing to get creative. You need to do some homework. If you haven't read the book on investing in real estate with no and low money down by Brandon Turner, I definitely recommend that you go do that. It's a great read that gives you the basis for understanding all this. Do some homework on seller financing, on purchasing subject to the existing mortgage, and different creative strategies, lease option sandwiches even, just to be able to purchase property without having to get a bank involved. And that could be cash, that could be private lender. I mean, there's a ton of options out there. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about seller financing, go check out my buddy Dan and Ben, who do the Millennial Real Estate Investor podcast. We did a cool show with them. It was me and my buddy Nick and the two of them. And we did it was the first ever 2 guests or whatever, 4-panel discussion all about seller financing. What it is, how to use it, why to use it, when to use it. Or check out my podcast with Gabriel Hamill, which is still one of my most viewed podcasts, might even be number 1, where he talks about how he's built his huge portfolio through seller financing. Now, there are always risks associated with this stuff, but start learning how to do that. Note investing, read Recession-Resistant Real Estate or Recession-Proof Real Estate Investing by Jay Scott, and understand these different market cycles, where we are and how this affects stuff, because the better positioned you are to be able to lend without a bank, the better you're going to be for these deals going forward. Because it very well could be that we're in just a difficult spot for a long time. Now, as always, feel free to subscribe and check the little bell for notifications. Are you guys struggling with lending? I really want to know who else, if this is just me dealing with all this financing. So comment down below, let me know, and have a great day.